Boy, I tell y'all what, y'all ever just see something that just make you want to just, I don't know about all crying, but like it just makes you go, damn, how could get that bad kind of deal? I'm gonna show y'all a truck here in a minute. Used to be owned by my uncle, my late uncle. See, first my uncle died, and then my papa passed away. And so I got Papa's truck, and that's what I've been working on. That's that $100 a week budget truck, and there she is right there. So I drive this into work every day. This Papa's old truck. Hey, I've already done seen it. But the truck in question. Ooh-wee. See, when my uncle died, this truck we're about to look at didn't get drove for a long time, because really nobody wanted to mess with it really, but I kept it up, kept oil changed it and everything, went out there and cranked it up and all whenever it needed it, and kept the tires aired up and all that. Well, this truck that we're finna look at used to sit right next to my truck, and they were partners in crime for, I know, 15 years. They sit right next to each other. Let's take a look. There's my old uncle's old truck, 89 GMC. Oh. Now my cousin got this truck after my aunt, I guess, sold it to him, and let's just say he ain't one for vehicle upkeep. I'm gonna put it like that. It's about as nice as I can go. This truck been sitting out here, over a year, I know. But last time this truck was running, the front brakes locked up on it. He just kept pushing the gas pedal down. I was like, oh yeah, to keep going. And finally, old motor just locked up. Well, after it cooled down, it unlocked. They got it off a trailer after they broke open the bleeders on the calipers, and cranked the old 350 up. And they said it was knocking real bad. Now, you're probably about to watch me get very emotionally worked up, because, man, I put a lot of time in this truck when my uncle was alive and all. Like, I replaced quite a few parts on this thing, because he was good for upkeep, but he didn't know what he was doing as far as mechanical stuff went. Well, let's see here. I already checked the oil. It's got oil in it. Not that it really matters at this point. I don't even know if it's got any gas left in her. Got that hot battery out of my truck. Oh yeah, I've cycled the key a few times. It says it built up pressure. I don't believe it. Oh boy. I think we're going to say that she's got some water in the cylinders. Ooh, she's tight. I ain't mad at you, girl. Wow, she does not sound worth a damn. Ain't got no wasp nest in here, do we? Give her a little gas. Wow. Yep, she ain't gonna do it, folks. Golly. Whew, who's gonna say that this old girl might have had some water in the cylinders? Surely it wouldn't have traveled back that far. Of course, I had the exhaust leak back when I had it for a little while, so it's not like it's gonna have any leaks in it. Boy, she's tight, boy. Tight, tight, tight. Golly. She is not happy. That starter is like 2 years old. I put it on there like 2 years ago. One more try. Come on, girl, hit or something. I don't think it's got any damn gas in it, to be honest with you. It's got a little, showing a little bit. Let's see how much oil pressure we get when we crank it. Nothing. Well, that pretty much sums up the verdict. She's real tight, man, real tight. Oh yeah, that negative good and hot. Let's go ahead and get these puppies back off of here. Oh man, I tell you what, I hate to see it like that, boy, because golly, when I had this truck for that little time that I did, boy, I kept her clean. And all my cousin did was fuck it up. Now, I'm trying to record with my left hand because my dominant hand said it's the one that wants to hold the battery. Golly, makes me sick to see this truck like that. Man, back when my uncle was still alive, he called me one day, he goes, "Hey, boy, dang old truck, it just ain't running right. Won't idle, keep going dead." So I was 17, ain't never worked on nothing yet in my life. I don't even think I'd really worked on lawnmowers yet, because I always stayed inside and played video games. He said, "You're in the cars, you think you can fix it?" And I said, I don't know, Uncle Eddie, I'll give it a shot, you know. I had no idea what I was doing. So eventually I was like, you know what? Hell, I'll give it a shot. Bring it on over here. We'll see what we can do with it. And so he brought it over, and I took the air cleaner off of it, and I remembered what the spray pattern looked like back when it was running good. And so I took the air cleaner off of it while it was running. It was just dumping fuel, just dumping. And so one thing leads to another, and I was like, well, that looks like too much fuel pressure, so maybe that little diaphragm fuel pressure regulator in the back of that TBI's went out. And I was like, I'll just rebuild the TBI and put it back on there. You know, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, to be honest. I had not a clue. You got a guard, kitty? Hey, kitty, kitty, kitty. You heard me out here making noise. You want to come say hi? Alright. But anyway, so he came over and dropped it off. And I was like, well, I'm going to take you back home. So I took him back home. And back then you can get a TBI rebuild kit that had everything in it from O'Reilly's for like $22 or something like that. It came with diaphragms and O-ring seals and the screens on the injectors and all the business. And so I rebuilt it and put it all back together, put the same old injectors back in it even. And fired it back up, boy, run like a top, boy. Oh, it run like a top. Well, then it went dead. I started smelling gas. I was like, what the hell? Well, that lower unit, I'd cracked it. I guess I'd torqued it just a little bit too tight on one side and it cracked. And so I said, well, hell. So I went out to the junkyard and got another throttle body and just swapped lower units and went and bought another rebuild kit and put the bottom end of that one. Put it on there. This time I was a lot more careful. And fired it back up, boy, ran like a top, boy. I called him and he goes, dang, boy, it's only been a day. Because I had fixed it the next day, and I went to the junkyard that next day because You know, I was 17. I didn't even have a job at the time. Golly. He came over there and picked it up. He said, what I owe you for it? I said, oh, you don't owe me nothing, Uncle Eddie. You ain't got to worry about it. He goes, oh, come on now. I know I owe you something. I said, well, if you're going to be that way, I told him, I said, I guess you can just pay me whatever you feel like. And so I think he whipped out something like 50 bucks, something like, you know, too much for me. I didn't want it anyway. But I took it anyway. And he said, boy, from now on, I'm going to call you to work on this truck. Hey, you're going to be the one that works on this truck. I ain't going to do nothing else to it. It's going to all be you. And so, sure enough, man, every time that truck have a problem or he wanted to put plugs in it or something like that, boy, he'd call me. He'd go, what are you doing this evening? I'd be like, nothing. He said, why don't you come over here and put a set of plugs in my truck? Make it run a little bit better. I said, yeah, all right. Because neither of us knew, you know, how long them plugs had even been in there. So, we're like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And so, well, I went over and put plugs in it, and I put an air filter on it, changed oil for the first time, you know, and all this business. Well, through the years, man, I just kept working on it, you know. Every time he'd have a problem, he'd call me. You know, he wouldn't call nobody else. He'd call me, and I'd come fix it for him. You know, I never took money from him on purpose. He always just gave it to me. And it was the same thing with this truck right here I'm sitting in. Whenever, you know, Papa said, oh, man, this truck ain't running right, because back when this truck was TBI, it had a real bad habit about putting a bunch of carbon on the damn plugs, and it'd foul out them plugs. And, well, I bet you I put 3 sets of plugs in this truck between 17 and 19 when I got it. But anyway, long story short, man, I worked on that truck the whole time he had it, and after he died, when my aunt got it, I worked on it. And actually, when I had it for a little while, when I was driving it, you know, I sunk $800 off in it easy. I mean, I put a water pump on it, plugs, wires. I had to put a fuel pump in it. Of course, you heard that fuel pump. Damn O'Reilly, it's precision, boy. It's sounding rough. You know, I got the air conditioner working on this business. And I never got paid for none of that. I didn't even get paid for the parts on that one. I took a fucking on that. But, you know, I never complained. I never complained just because I wanted to keep that truck up. And, when my cousin got it, you know, he did like I told you earlier. He just kept pushing the gas on it. That old 350 boy, I mean, that truck's probably got 300,000 miles on it. The odometer hasn't worked since 2004. So, and it had 69,000 miles on it in 2004. And my uncle drove that bitch everywhere. You hear me? Everywhere. And well, when my cousin blew it up, I talked to my aunt, and me and her were kind of still on the fritz, you know, because I was kind of pissed about that money, but you know, I never got paid. And I was young and dumb, and I was bitching about it and all this business. I was like, man, look, sell me that truck, man. I got a motor and transmission, go right in it. I'll fix the brakes on it. It'll be driving in 2 weeks. That's been over a year ago. That sumbitch gonna rot in the ground before I ever get my paws on it, because they won't come off of it. Just because they know how much that truck means to me. If that ain't evil, I don't know what is. Yeah, but I still got Papa's old truck. I guess I ain't too messed up about it. Me and old Red. Gotta charge up that battery, all that cranking. That old Flowmaster on this truck sound pretty good. Yeah, you can hear that alternator getting it, boy. Well, listen, y'all, that was somewhat of a story time about that truck. And I'll dive more into the story of this truck. You know, in everybody's eyes, you know, this old truck's just a pile of crap. But you know, it's like they say, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. You know, Hell, you couldn't give me $10,000 for this truck right now as it is. Hell, back whenever it was blown up sitting in my field, you couldn't give me $10,000 for it. See, money's not the object. It's just the simple fact that, you know, I knew the man that drove this truck when I came home from the hospital in it. And, you know, both of them trucks, boy, they're the ones that got me into 90 models to start with. You know, hell, I've probably owned 25 of these damn trucks because of these two trucks. But next time I have a story time, I'll tell you the story about this truck. But until next time.